Peace, family, peace, love, and power. Welcome to BTV. Black Education Empowers True Vision. You're tuned into a quest for justice on earth. This is episode 5, and I am so excited to bring you today. We have a great show for you today. Make sure before we get started, we are live and direct today. So we are going to be taking calls later in the show. If you want to chime in, we will take your calls. But make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, share the video, all of that good stuff. Okay. And without further ado, I'm going to bring our guest onto the screen. Give me one moment to get this together and we're going to get started. We have today with us Brooke Sinclair. She is a future billionaire. Let me get her on the screen. Let me get all my stuff together because I am missing some stuff over here. But this is what happens when you go live. So it's no problem. But here we go. There it goes. All right, let's get her to the stage. And welcome, Brooke. Thank you so much for being on BTV. Welcome to BVT. B
No? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
do, I want to welcome to the stage Brooke Sinclair. Thank you so much for being here, Queen. Welcome to BTV.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I know that was a lot. Sometimes we have some little technical things going on over here at BTV, but we always get through it. You know, we are the family, so we want to welcome you. Um, had a little talk before we went on, and I tell you and all my guests, everyone that comes on BTV becomes a part of the family. So we're going to make it do what it do. We're going to get into this advocate talk. We're going to talk about the importance of a super PAC, what that means, what a super PAC is, what it means, and what how that can benefit us as a community. So I appreciate you, I salute you, and I want to just thank you in advance for all the work that you're doing for the community.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited. This is really important. I'm so excited for myself to be here and for the community.
Okay, so someone's saying, can you hear me? They're saying that they can't hear me.
I
Let
hear
me
you.
see, no sound. I can hear you. I can hear you all. Okay, so good. If they can hear me, I'm just gonna say, if you can hear, type 1, because we do have some people watching live, which is great. We want you guys to watch live. We also want you to call in, but not right now. We need to have everything in order. So we want to give people a chance to call in at the end of the show. Okay,
Okay.
great. They can hear us. Perfect. This is perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So let's get started without further ado. So let me just pull this up on the banner. So first of all, Brooke, tell us about Blood Pack. Talk a little bit about the company, how it got started, and actually what it is and what you guys do.
Yeah. Buy Our Blood is a political action committee. It's a super PAC. So a lot of times we've all heard super PACs or PACs before, a political action committee. So they're the ones who raise large amounts of unscrupulous money, unscrupulous dollars, and they either invest it directly into the candidate or into a an issue. So some PACs specifically donate to candidates. Those are usually regular PACs, or they might donate specifically for a party. Those are the regular PACs. A super PAC is different because it's not bound by a lot of the smaller dollar amounts and regulations. I say with air quotes because they don't follow any of the rules. But they're a super PAC is
Right.
allowed to raise money from any dollar amount from any source, and then they're allowed to. We're not allowed to give the money directly to candidates, but we can do. Excuse me, campaign around issues. So one
Okay.
particular issue that we're campaigning around right before the 2024 elections is the Supreme Court ruling that reminded us that the descendants of former U.S. chattel slaves, the descendants, the great grandchildren of the colored Union soldiers, are indeed exempt from unfriendly legislation.
And
So,
that's legislation that's in the 14th Amendment.
yes. Well, that
Hmm.
exemption is in the 14th Amendment. Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to pull up this right now because I want to share on the screen um, a little bit about the Blood Pack. Well, I wanted to share your Twitter handle. So give everybody your Twitter handle for Blood Pack for the Super
Yeah.
PAC so they can follow you guys on Twitter. And how can they join it, or like what can they do to support the Blood Pack?
So right now, you can join the Blood Pack on Thursday evening. So we're having an event on Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to have a Zoom fundraiser link to kind of combat the narrative that all the different Zooms have been going on for Kamala and talking about how great Kamala is supposedly. So we're going to have our own Zoom that says both parties suck. And we are exempt from unfriendly laws, and we don't have to take this. So, regardless of the results of the election, we're coming together to say we don't have to be bothered by your rules and legislation anymore. We don't have to vote with fear. And here's our political agenda. Here's the list of issues and demands that we want if you want us to vote for you on November the 4th or 5th or November 2024.
Great. So I'm glad you brought that up because there have been, I saw a couple things about Kamala, like over 144,000 people, women were on a call to raise money for her. Then they had another one where there was however number many of men they had to raise money for her. Now they have one actually going on where the white women are actually looking to raise money to get Kamala elected. So we know everything that's kind of going on in the political realm. We know Trump and his conservatism and Project 2025 and all that kind of stuff that brings. We know Kamala and the Democratic Party historically have not done anything for foundational Black Americans. Benign neglect, keeping us at the bottom of the barrel, keeping us in the consumer mindset, and now giving us, different areas where we can raise. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that because these are the kind of things that the Blood Pack can kind of combat. Um,
Yes.
this is what I've been talking about for our people that we've been needing to do. We need to organize politically so we can now go, make our demands on our issues, on the policies that we need to be passed for us. So what you're doing is amazing. I mean, it's the start of something beautiful that everyone that's even tuning into this today needs to go support. Like, you guys need to go support this Blood Pack. You need to get involved with it, see what you need to do to strengthen it, empower it. So when they go to that lobby floor, They're lobbying for us. They're lobbying
Yes.
for what our community needs.
Yes.
Something that these political people like Kamala and Donald Trump, they're not listening to us right now.
Nope.
They listen to this. Money talks. So if you don't have a super PAC or something like that where you can go lobby for your community, for your group, you're not going to get anything. And this is why historically we haven't gotten anything, because all of these so-called people who are supposed to be in our best interest have been compromised.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like, to me it's super important. So the Zoom call that's going to be taking place on August 1st, so you said that you guys are going to be on there just like educating people on the on like both parties, educating them on policies that they're doing, just so people are aware that none of these policies are actually helping us. Is that what this call is about, and to get more support for the pack?
Yes, yes. Two, double fold, so or triple fold rather. So yes, definitely letting them know that from we're telling the aunties and the uncles, the grandmas and the grandpas, our olders and our elders, that this younger where the younger generation is trying to talk to the olders and the elders rather, and let them know, hey, one, turns out we were always supposed to be exempt from unfriendly legislation. So, all of the redlining, all of the Jim Crow, the black codes, all of those things that hurt us were not constitutional. They were never supposed to be allowed. So, two, we're saying to them, hey, look at the party that you planned on voting for. You haven't heard any policies. You haven't heard any campaign promises. At least it used to be that they would make campaign promises and then not meet them. But now you're not even getting the fake veil of
Right.
campaign promises.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're not. I mean, Kamala Harris was in a, interview last year that she did on the Griot, that I have posted on my page, and she said in that interview, "No, I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black Americans." She said it straight out of her mouth, straight like that.
Yep.
No, she's not going to do anything specifically for Black Americans. And then I'll note, she also said that anything that they do for anyone else will also help us, which I want to debunk that. That is not true. Um, all of the stuff that you just named, from the ending of slavery to the Reconstruction era to the Jim Crow to the redlining to the segregation to all of this stuff, to the benign neglect through policy, through years of benign neglect through political action, we have never been a privy to that. So I say that to say she's right. They're not going to do anything specifically for us. They're telling us they're not going to do anything specifically for us.
That's
They're
a
they're
we.
telling us that, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm confused as to why and I get it. I get it. People are scared of Project 2025. They're scared of the conservative plan. So they want to, back Kamala, because in this country we have a history of only having those two choices, of course, and doing what we're used to doing, right? So
Right.
we're used to just going with the plan and just supporting the Democrats because the Republicans are just this big bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But really, they're both a big bad thing when it comes to Black Americans. And I'll say that everything that they do for everyone won't help us too, because we're already down at the bottom. We've already had benign neglect for years. So anything that you do for us and you do for other people at the same time is not going to lift us up to a level where we can still compete with other people.
Nope.
We're still going to be scraping and scrambling while other people already are above a level. Now you're giving them the same thing that you're giving us. That's not really helping us.
And
So
oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, personally, I'm a 14th generation American freedman. My
Mhm.
ancestors greeted the Mayflower when it arrived, and then
Mm,
we fought in the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, the Civil War, and both world wars.
mhm,
So I am done with these new people personally, right?
mhm.
These post 1965 people like Kamala. I'm not. I I want us to be better personally. That's just my personal goals. And so
Mhm.
the blood pack is coming together with an opportunity to show people you don't have to vote with fear. Let the immigrants, let those post 1965ers, let them vote with fear, and let's demand that one of these somebody from somewhere do something that we want.
Right. So, I mean, that's why I love what you're doing because this is the exact thing that we actually need to push us forward to the next level. And that's why it's so important. So, thank you, Queen. Salute to you, and the work that you guys are doing there. And any way that I can help, of course, I'm on board. So, let's get into some of this history with you and your background. Talk about your experiences at the University of Houston and how that shaped your advocacy work and your passion for fighting bias and discrimination in various organizations.
Man, my University of Houston experience was both fantastic and horrible at the same time. And honestly, I it prepared me for life. I understand now why people want to send their children to college. The what do they call it? The moving the goalpost, right? Having to jump through all the various hoops. It is something that our children should become rehearsed in before just going into the job market, because I think as a 18, 19, 20-year old, if you go to get a job and your corporate boss or somebody is putting you through unnecessary stress and making you jump through hoops, your first initial response, your first initial gut reaction is to respond and to tell them, no, I'm not doing this, or a
Right.
number of other words.
A number of other adjectives that we might use.
Right? That won't keep you employed. And
Right.
so my college experience was a great step in understanding politics, understanding the LGBTQ community, understanding the power of nonprofits, and understanding the influence that Caucasian women colonizing immigrants, what I used to, lovingly refer to them as, um, how they influence the world and nonprofits and social work.
Right. Yeah, they do. A lot of it is ran by them. They're
Mhm.
the people who are managing a lot of these places or the supervising director of a lot of these places. So, I agree with that. I think my experience in going to college did help me and prepare me and train me to kind of deal with that corporate world and that kind of perspective.
Mm.
And kind of knowing how to navigate and, be able to point out the microaggressions, and being able to notice them and knowing how to behave and respond to them in a way that's not going to, place you in harm. That's the first thing. And in a way that's constructive, that kind of, is a constructive way to handle it without
Mhm.
lowering yourself to the standard that they're working at and operating it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't go through life
So,
flipping tables.
right. So talk about Lobby Day 2024. Um, Talk about Lobby Day, and then let's get into the key issues that you're going to be addressing or want to address, and then we'll get into the Negro $1 billion blueprint after that.
Yeah. So this past lobby day, a lot of the grassroots members from across the nation met in Washington, and they had a nice little seminar together. Actually, there's a nice little video that's going out and circulating around. And so they were. I physically was taking care of my 90-year-old grandmother, so I wasn't able to go to Washington, but we were able to participate in by creating the Negro $1 billion blueprint, inspired by the speech from Martin Luther King Jr. that he gave to, I believe, graduating class of high schoolers, called "What is Your Life's Blueprint?"
Yes,
It,
he did that in 1967, October 26, 1967. He delivered that speech actually to my native home, Philly. He did it to at Barrett Junior High School in Philadelphia.
whoop, whoop. All
Yes.
right. See?
Absolutely. So that's why when I saw your when I saw you and I saw that you were doing that, I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting." And I'm like, "I want to know more about what she's doing and what that is." So I just love that you're doing a Negro Billion Dollar Blueprint and that it's a it's a twist off of Martin Luther King's With Your Life Blueprint. So go ahead and go in, talk about it.
Yeah. And a lot of people may have seen, because he's given so many various different speeches. This is the particular speech where he tells the students, if you're going to be a janitor, be the best janitor. If you're going to
Yes.
be a farmer, be the best farmer. If you're going to be whatever you're going to be out there, go out there and be the best version of it and represent not only yourself, but your family and your community. And so
Yes.
it helped me to understand why when Black Americans were the janitors, how the streets were so clean. When you see footage of California from back in the day and you just see clean streets and the people rolling down the streets in their 1950s and 60s cars, you start to realize, oh, we were the ones cleaning up all the time. And not only cleaning up for ourselves so that we can have a nice looking neighborhood, but cleaning up so that we can present a sense of honor and humanity to these people who otherwise keep treating us inhumanely.
Yes, absolutely. That's a beautiful way that you stated that. And I think a lot of that comes from too, it's been ingrained in us as a culture, and I'm sure that you've heard similar things from your family, make sure you got to keep the house clean, do your
Yeah.
chores. We never could go outside unpresentable when we were coming up. Our parents they insisted on it. And it's
Yeah.
because of the way that we were treated by the dominant society and looked at like we're dirty or we're stupid or we can't do this so our parents always overcompensated for that by making
Mm-hmm.
sure that we were the cleanest, we were the
Mm-hmm.
sharpest, we were the this, we were always on point. And I think that's gotten lost on us through generations
Mm-hmm.
somehow. So I think that it's important that you're bringing that back. So even with MLK's What Is Your Life Blueprint, he looked at these pillars and he looked at number one, it's your principle of somebodyness. So it's what you just said, be somebody, whoever you're going to be, whoever you decide to be the best somebody. You
Yep.
know, the number two thing was the determination to achieve excellence. So I know that these are all the things that your plan entails too.
Yes.
And then number three, the commitment to the eternal principles.
Yeah.
So I know that that's what your plan entails. And then at the end of this, that's when MLK actually does that famous quote where he says, if you can't fly, run. If you can't
Yes.
run, walk. If you
Yes.
can't walk, crawl, but by all means, keep moving. So that's the message
Keep
that we need to send to the
keep going.
community. I know we've been beaten down, we've been downtrodden, we've been talked about, we've been kicked, we've been bullied, we've been jumped, but we
Mm.
have to keep moving because there's
Mm-hmm.
generations behind us that we have to solidify this for. We got to make sure that they don't have to continue to go through the same mistakes that our ancestors went through. They corrected things for us, so we didn't have to go through them. This is what our job and our charge is now to get those
Mm-hmm.
things corrected so that next generation doesn't have to go through that stuff. So kudos to you, Queen, for that.
Thank you.
So let's see. So did we discuss the actual key issues for the bill and dollar blueprint? There's three key issues. I know because workers kind of all over the place, but it's great. So why don't we go ahead and the key issues of the
Sure.
and
Uh-oh. I'm getting a little can you still hear
that
me?
I can. Yeah, it's
Okay.
a little choppy, but I can still hear you.
Okay. So yes, the key issues. So freedom, economic freedom and independence. So that means skipping and driving past the foreign owned grocery stores and finding the Black-owned farmers in your neighborhood, in your state. A lot of Black-owned farmers, not a lot, but a growing number of Black-owned farmers actually offer online sales. Some offer online shipping. You can go and pick them up from a local destination. So there's a particular Black-owned farm actually in the greater Chicago area that they have various pickup locations around the city. So you can order farm fresh eggs online and then go pick them up at a nearby location and then not be subjected to eating whatever they injected into the mainstream people injected into the chickens. You can have real wholesome farm fresh eggs and chicken that's non-modified and organic, the real organic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first key principle, is building that new habit of driving past the foreign-owned grocery store and finding a
Mm-hmm.
Black-owned farmer to keep that circulation of economy in our community, right? Then the second one is learning about the various the ways to upload information to the International Crimes Court. So thanks to technology, reporting crimes of genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes is easier than ever before, and it's free. So the hardest part now of reporting genocide is simply detailing the homework, the book report that you have to tell them. But once you get that book report done and the evidence put all together, you upload it in less than 5 minutes, and then your report, it's done. The ICC can take care of it, and you can move on focusing on other things. And then the last principle of the Negro $1 billion blueprint, I should have written that specific one. I know the first two. I'm so sorry.
No problem. You take
Is
your time, Queen. Even if you
okay.
got to look it up or whatever, you take your time, and we're gonna get it together. We can move on, or we could come back, or we can edit it up later. It doesn't matter. It's all good.
Well, building awareness, right, of the
Yeah,
first
there you
two,
go.
right?
Yep, absolutely,
So
absolutely,
telling your
because that's
friends and
important.
family, right? Right. So if you
Hmm.
start developing a habit of doing the first two, and then you tell a friend and you help them develop that habit, it's wildfire. It's going to catch on. And that brings us back to what we were doing when Martin Luther King made that speech, to that time frame that gets us back to that holistic pre-1965 civil rights, more wholesome life that we used to live.
Hmm. That sounds great, Queen. I mean, I think it's excellent. Let me see if I can add that up here. I put the 3 up there. I couldn't get it cut it off on the building awareness. So the
Okay.
3 the 3 wanted some of it. So I want to talk about these pillars a little bit just because, all of these other little things like Project 2025, they have their 4 pillars, and all of these other little projects have their pillars on what they think is going to be good for the community or for their community. So this is something great because this is something that's coming by our people for our people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's something that we all know we need to do. We all know this. A lot of us know this that are in this community. We need that economic freedom. We need that independence. Start buying from Black owned farms, Black
Mm-hmm.
owned food, Black owned businesses, even. Um, Learning about ways to upload the info to the genocide, to about genocide to the
Yes.
ICC.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's important because who does genocide happen to the most in this country? Who the crimes against humanity, who gets the who's up on hate crimes. We can go to the hate crime website right now, and see that it's like 57% hate crime against Black Americans.
Yeah.
So these are the things that you're doing, and like building the awareness, making sure that
Mm-hmm.
people are aware of this, that they know, spreading the word, following her. Go to Blood Pack on X, follow them. Stay up to date with what they have going on. See where you can help, see where you can donate, see what you can do. Even if you can't donate money, you can donate time. You might be able to donate a flyer, or you might be able to do
Ooh.
something for, yeah. So these are the types of things that we need to come together as a community just to be on the same page to do in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
So why
Yeah.
don't you talk about the
Oh,
yeah, go ahead. Talk
sorry.
about the long-term economic benefits of freedmen withdrawing their funds from the global market.
Oh, well, the long term, I feel like, uh, withdraw your money from the long term economic global, and then it falls, and then right. That's pretty much how self explanatory on that part. But I'll tell you that when you realize that the descendants of the U.S. formal chattel slaves, right, that the reason we're so popular all around the world and our culture is taken around world is because we've always been fighting Irish, German, Portuguese, Lithuanian, whoever these people are. They've been coming here in droves since day one, even pre-day one. When you think about the people who started Harvard, that started in the 1600s. Those are English people. So we've been fighting basically a world war
For centuries.
centuries. Didn't even know. We thought it was just a long line of just British people. But no,
Right.
it's
It's all of
everybody.
them. It's all of them. And that's the part that I think it goes unnoticed. I think it kind of goes like people are unaware of it. And but the people who are aware of it are us. So American
Mm-hmm.
freedmen, Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, Moors, Hebrew Israelites, however you identify yourself. If you're a foundational Black American and you've been on this continent, like, and I like what you said earlier about the history of your lineage, that your people were here when they arrived because we didn't all come on those slave ships. So that's another thing that people need to get out of their head about our community and our culture, and stop always going to that when we start talking about our history. Stop starting us there because that's not where we started. We are indigenous to this continent. We were here before they got here. When they came here, when you look in their journals, you will see who they wrote about us.
Mm-hmm.
Those other people didn't even get to this continent until about the 1700s. So
Mm-hmm.
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But that goes to show you that we're indigenous here. So like you said, we fought in every war, all of this
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. So it's up to us. Like, and what people don't understand is that's the reason why we're treated so bad. See,
Right.
people, no, it is. It's the reason why. Because if you look at the diaspora. Who's on the bottom? Who gets the bad rap? Who gets treated badly?
Oh,
Who gets
oh,
all?
we get the bad
Yeah,
rap. We're
we
the
get the
bad
bad
boys
rap,
of the
right?
diaspora. Yeah.
And then that makes us the bad boys of everything, right? So I say that to say there's a reason for that. Let's not look past the reason why they're doing us that way. Okay. And this is what I need our people to understand.
Yeah.
That's the reason, because they don't want us to know that, because
Mm-hmm.
they know the minute that we know that and we empower and strengthen ourselves in that fact, that we can come back and take all of this back because it's
Yes.
ours. So that's why they treat us that way. That's why they keep us at the bottom. That's why all of, like you just said, all of the nationalities came together to do this to us. It
Mm-hmm.
ain't just one, it's all of them. And then all of the other ones that come after that, they're in on it. They're in on the code against us. And
Right.
that's why what you're doing is important. And that's why we need our own code. And we need people like me and people like you to do stuff like this, to come together to make sure our community knows that we're empowering our people.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I went off on my tangent on that, but I had to say that, I had to let it be known because people be trying to really play us. And I don't like that. You're not going to play us. We built this country. We never been paid for it. This is our land. You stole it from us. You stole it right from underneath of us. You
Mm.
made us forget who we are. You
Mm.
reclassified us a million and one times, and now we're here. So don't
Oh,
act like some of us don't know. Some of us do know the truth, and we're the ones that they're really scared of.
right. And don't forget about the times that we actually did go off and pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. create cities, whole
Talk
cities,
about
so
it.
we could be left alone. Am I allowed to
Talk
curse?
about it.
Is it okay? Left the fuck alone. Okay, excuse
And they
me.
still couldn't do that. They couldn't
Like,
leave us alone then because you know why? They seen that strength. They're like, damn, even when we leave them alone, look what they went and go created. We got to come ruin that. Let's go lie and say they
let's
did something to this white woman and we're going to go build, we're going to go tear that whole town down.
now Jamaica is a whole country full of people who look alike. And they've been able to do whatever, right? We're not judging them, right? Nigeria,
Right.
uh,
We don't judge anyone in the diaspora. They
we
judge
really
us. We
don't.
don't judge them. So
All
I'll
we
say that
want
too.
is to be left alone to do
Right.
our own thing. And y'all, they
Right.
won't let us do that.
No, they won't, will they?
Mm-mm.
Okay. They won't. We know they won't, and the thing is, and I'm going to keep going because I got another point to make to that.
Okay.
Because again, going back to the diaspora, we're the most welcoming. We are the most inviting. We are the most kumbaya because guess why? Because we know the enemy better than all of them. So we embrace our brother because we want you to come stand with us, right? But what
We
we don't
did.
realize is that's not their thought process because they're given like a manifesto when they come here. Don't
Mm-hmm.
mess with them. This on them, that bad on them. If you don't do that, we'll give you a loan to get you this store. You could go get this store in their neighborhood. Like, come and get all of that. We can't get none of that. And then they wonder why we can't be self-sufficient because you have blocked us with enterprise zones where you have blocked us out of our own communities of owning land and businesses in our own community.
That's all.
So, like all of this shit is by design. So this is why
Mm-hmm.
I don't play when it comes to it. I speak my mind on it, and I'm always going to tell the truth about it. That's the
Mm-hmm.
damn truth. And whoever don't like it, they don't have to like it. They can unfollow the page. They can do what they got to do. Because I'm going to stand on a Black American business all day long.
Not
All
unfollow the
day long.
page.
They could,
Like,
if they need to. I want them to, because I don't need people
why?
over here. I don't need people over here that's detractors from the truth.
That's true.
So when I started this platform, it was called BTV, a platform for the truth. That was the first name of it. And then it
Okay.
evolved. I evolved. I'm Teller B Media. I did my thing and I evolved and I did other things and I'm incorporating things, but it's always a platform for the truth.
I like that.
And I tell the truth about our community. I tell the truth about history. I unreveal history. I have people on here like you that come tell the truth, that come tell the truth to our community, straight up with them, what they need to be doing, getting on
Mm-hmm.
with Blood Pack, going to go
Yeah.
follow the Super PAC so we can go fight these people the right way.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. Right.
Okay.
So let's talk about the high crimes in the International Crimes Court. You're committed to highlighting the importance of reporting and uploading evidence to genocide to the International Crimes Court. Can you walk us through the process and explain why individuals must be able to do this independently?
Yes. So I'll start backwards. So why
Mhm.
independently? So our issues are both twofold. So one, personally, so for example, my grandmother who just turned 90, she was born in Macon, Mississippi, and she was living the land that they were living on. Turned out, I've recently found out, was the land that they were awarded as a result of fighting in the Revolutionary War. And it
Mm.
turned out to be oil bearing land. So the KKK decided that they wanted the land. So they took my ancestor from his house in the middle of the evening and drove him across state lines and made him walk back barefoot. And I think it was like the third or fourth time of walking back from across state lines barefoot, there was a coffin on their front porch. And so they left and, right, left the
Lost
land.
their land.
Right. Right. So that's my personal story that I am having to put together evidence and I'm going to upload it, the full complete story, evidence, plot of land, deeds. We've got old deeds and stuff. to prove that that was our land. So that's my personal story, and I have to upload that. Now, there's a collective story where something like that happened to me, and then something like that happens to you. And those two stories combined make a full case and make a presented overall argument in the International Crimes Court. So it's very important that not only do we have organizations that maybe like the Blood Pack or even a nonprofit organization who load up communal stories. So like, for example, there's still no clean water in Jackson, Mississippi, right? So that's a
Mhm.
communal story that a nonprofit could upload. But then
Mhm.
specifically when those individuals talk about the almost like this the movie Aaron Brockovich, right? When
Mhm.
those
Mhm.
individuals talk about the specific cancers, the harms that has caused them, that that dirty water has taken and detracted them from life, then it creates a greater resolution. Let me say, basically, money, incidentals, protections, getting these colonizers out of our country, things of that nature.
Mhm.
And so that's why that's
That's
important.
yeah, that's insurmountable. So talk about the three-step process of reporting it. So you have to do the history of it. Um, what is the so it's a three-step process. So talk about that and talk about where they can upload it. Is it a website?
It is a website.
I'm
I
gonna write it
don't, I
down.
forgot. Okay. I forgot the actual
Okay,
website, but
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to
try to
get
pull it
that
up.
link. Okay. Okay.
Good. Yep, and
I
I'll
can
put it in the thing.
in the thing. Okay. I'll find the
Yeah, you
link.
don't not right now. You don't have to do it right now.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't want you to. Don't worry, I'm over here doing enough multitasking for the both of us.
Okay. Okay. We're going to have a
Trust me.
link. It's
Yeah, we'll get them
very
the link, but go
We'll get
ahead.
you the link. It's very
Mhm,
easy. So
mhm,
basically just fill in, it's like a web form. Basically like
mhm.
it's not a Google web form, but it's like a Google web form where you just fill in your
Okay.
name, the incident, and you can still press charges on genocide or crimes against humanity if somebody has died, what they call ominously,
Postmortem,
post mortem.
posthumus,
Yeah,
postmortem or posthumously.
there you go. There you go.
Mhm,
So yes, you just go put in the name, your email address, your where the incident occurred, and
mhm.
then you have your uh attachments, and that's where the book report part comes in.
Part comes in. Okay.
Now, putting together the book report that explains who, what, when, where, and what sort of repercussions or punishment you want to serve, that's going to take your most amount of time. That's the
Mhm.
hardest thing to do.
That's like the background work that you have to do first.
Right. And so
Mhm.
I recommend people start with their genealogy.
Yes.
Really, right?
Yes. We all
Do
need to start there anyway, but go ahead. Let you
right.
cook.
I know
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, it was. You need
Cook.
to do your genealogy anyway. But as you're doing your genealogy and you start finding these deeds, and then you start realizing and reading a lot of the colonizer narratives fit in with your genealogy, and you don't even realize it. So
Right.
once you start putting all those stories together, I was able to put together the story that my grandmother was telling me about leaving the land, and then the once I found the deed, aha, oh, okay, now I get it.
Right.
And I was able to put together a full story that somebody from a criminal prosecuting office can charge things with, and that's ultimately what you're getting to, almost like a an order of law, I mean, excuse me, an episode of Law and Order. Like,
Mhm.
you got to build the case, you got to present it, and then boom, go in for the kill.
Right. So talk about like so we know the importance of it. So we hear how it's important, why it's important because like and what I'm hearing just to summarize, you can go do your genealogy. That
Mhm.
includes going through all the censuses to trace your family lineage back as far as you can in this
Yep.
country.
Yep.
That includes also looking for land deeds that your family may have been awarded or that they may have just owned.
Yeah.
Looking for transfers of deeds from those names where they might have been hoodwinked and they stole the deed from him and transferred it from them in an illegal manner.
Hmm.
So all of those three things are the basic things that we need to be doing as the foundational Black American community to get our ass out of this predicament that we're in. This
Yeah.
is what will help us to reclaim our identity. A, it will help us to get our land back. B, and then once we do that, we can kick the people off because then we do
Yeah.
own it and it is ours. And then now we can pick ourselves up by our bootstraps like we've done so many times throughout
Once
history.
again.
Once again, we'll do it once again. We'll do it once again, but this time it'll mean something because we'll own the damn land. We
Yeah.
will be the people in charge. And this is what we're looking to get to. This is the point that and this is why I love what you're doing because everything you're doing is pointing us in this direction. If you guys are watching this right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, go follow Brooke on Twitter.
Yeah.
Keep up with this sister. Hit her up. See what you could do for the blood pack. They need money. They need donations. They need bodies. They need people from different states to help represent those states with the things that they want to do in those states. So like we need to get with this sister and we need to support her. I'm gonna read some
Yeah.
comments because we got some good feedback in the audience.
Okay.
So Will said it's about all of the fear of our people regaining control of the planet and resetting the natural order to what it once was. We as people need to realize that fact and wake up. All of this is a test from Allah to see if we can live up to what He intended for us all. Peace, Will, peace and power and love to you, brother. That is absolutely 100% correct. And
Hmm.
then my brother Cool Cola said, sad part is a lot of our family's land was stolen, and a lot of us who were younger were not made aware of the details, let alone what to do about it. Facts, Cool Colas, facts. And that's why Brooke's doing this. Because again,
Hmm.
and then it's the same thing and the same premise with Supreme Court rulings and all that. Once somebody sets a precedent, so what Brooke is doing, you guys, she's setting a precedent for us.
Hmm.
She is setting a precedent for our community and then we can follow that blueprint, not to play on the words of all of her stuff she's got going up, but we're going to follow that blueprint to get ourselves to freedom, to free ourselves from what we need to do. Cool colas, I agree, sis. We all need to learn how the lineage goes back. 100%. And that's what we're here for. And that's why you got queens like us and other kings that are out here doing this work. Revealing the truth about our identity, who we are, that we were here before all of the shit that they said happened. We were
Hmm.
here before that. Our history goes way long before that. So we want to
Yeah.
make sure people are aware of that, and that's what we're here for. So, Brooke, so I want you, like, we're still talking about the genocide and the crimes against humanity. Because now, what I want you to do, I want you to tell us how Malcolm X was involved with them, and I want you to tell
Mhm.
us how he was seeking their help back then, and what lessons we can take from that now because we basically stopped all the work that he and MLK were doing. We didn't really complete nothing. We got scared after that, like we always do when they kill our leaders. So tell us what
Mhm.
Malcolm X was doing with them, and tell us the importance of all that.
Well, so a lot of people know the early Martin, where he was nonviolent, right? So, and then Malcolm was always a little bit more radical. But as the two were aging, they had a lot in common and they came together and decided to go. So, Martin first went to the United Nations and asked for help. The United Nations basically said, haha, you're cute. No, we don't care about helping you. And so Malcolm was on his way preparing the case to go to the International Crimes Court in The Hague in Netherlands, I believe is where it's located. And so, back then, going to the International Crime Court meant money, it meant traveling, it meant literally going there.
Attorneys, yeah, like
Right.
fees, attorneys.
Huge, huge thing. Next thing we know, Malcolm is assassinated. But Malcolm had been talking about going to the International Crimes Court and how the even the word of genocide had been only created within 10 years of when he decided he was going to go to file for genocide. Like they had already been doing genocide. Then the colonizers wrote the word genocide. And then Malcolm said, okay, well, I'm going to go charge you guys for genocide. And then he was taken out. Yeah. So
So I
now we're
think
doing.
go ahead. And now we're doing, and that's now we're here. So I think that's important. It's an important fact to look at. Again, no one's looking to, start all of this from scratch. We didn't make it to this point on this planet, on in this country, being who we are without the work of our ancestors, without the footwork that they did, without laying some of the groundwork, some of the books they've written, some of the literature that they left behind for us. So, we need to really make sure that we're utilizing those works, reading those works, understanding them to the best of our ability, and then building on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we want to build on that and create, upgraded things for the times that we live in now, alter it a little bit, for what we're dealing with now. So I think that's
Yeah.
pretty much what you've done. I think it's amazing. And I want to talk about now, I'm going to share this petition.
Okay.
So it's the change.org, I think you sent me. I want you
Yes.
to talk a little about it, but let me share the screen. You talk a little bit about the petition and what you're looking for with that, and see if we can get the family to, get in on that with us. So here, let me share the screen, honey.
Sure. Sure. So this petition is actually sponsored by or created by one of our grassroots community organizations. We have two, and first of all, let me just give a shout out to our community and say that we have two different groups that are going against the OMB. I'm not sure if anybody has known about the OMB, but they refuse to acknowledge our request to be identified separately from African immigrants or from immigrants from the diaspora. So instead of Black Americans being separated from in a separate category from immigrants, there's just one giant category of Blackness. And so this petition is specifically focused with the goal of telling a lawyer how the community wants to be identified separately. So it's not just another random petition. I know we all get sick of petitions, but this one is a petition with a mission that has a specific intent that a lawyer is looking to see how much do we really care? Do we really care
Mhm.
about this naming thing? And so if you can go ahead and sign it with all your different email addresses, please. And that would be really appreciated.
Great. So I want to say that I think that is, obviously that's super important. I'm going to right now point to what's going on over in California. I don't know how many of the family, I mean, most people tuned into this channel are kind of up on the know about what's going on with a lot of that stuff. But for those who don't know, over in California, they're doing, a reparations study. And they've actually, I believe, that Governor Newsom passed a law for the Californians to have that placed in their census. So
Yes.
yes, so I think what we probably could maybe look to that ruling or to that legislation and look at how they kind of were able to get that done on the state level and kind of use that as a basis for the federal level.
Yes. That would be
Mhm.
nice. I am not part of that team, but I agree. I think we should be able to do both. We're the
Yeah,
only human beings who've been forced to identify as a color,
right.
right? It wasn't our choice to be called Black. Our colonizers all gave us various names of the word Black, right? Negro, mulatto, they all
Colored.
translate.
Mhm.
Right. That's not
Yeah,
us. We didn't do that.
right.
So the fact that we want to be identified separately versus the people who chose to come here should be a moot point. It should be done.
So I think it's also important, and it's called delineation. So it's us delineating our lineage, from, others in the diaspora. And I will say that there is a way that I believe the government already does this. We're not privy to it because they know, they like one thing about our government and everything else, they keep excellent records. And
They
that's why
do.
they do. That's why
They
we were able to see our lineage. That's why we're able to trace ourselves back through the census. That's why we're able to see how they reclassified us from American Indian, because that was the first classification, from American Indian to mulatto to colored to Negro to black.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the way it went. This is just what the facts are when you look at history, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I say that to say, like, you know, we should have to be separately. We should have the ability to be separately identified and delineate
Mm-hmm.
that based on our own terms, not based on the terms that they're making us do it on.
Right.
Um, and then also, like I said, they already keep that record, and that's how they're able to do benign neglect to our community
Mm-hmm.
because they know who we are. They know where all of us live. They watch us, all of us like hawks. We know this. This is throughout history. They've done this.
Yeah.
So they know exactly who we are, where we live. They know all of the immigrants that have come here, where they came from, where they are, where they live. So when
I mean,
people go to get loans or go to get businesses, they know who they're dealing with.
mm-hmm.
So they know who to give the yes to and who to give the no to. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're already doing this on a maniacal, diabolical level. So now, this is just us basically taking that power back, saying,
Just
yeah, you know what,
self-preservation.
since you guys are already doing this, let's delineate ourselves. And then what that also does is it allows us to have these super PACs. It allows us to have a specific community that we're working for and towards.
Yes.
Um, and what I'll say to what Kamala said in her thing, how she said whatever they do for the nation will help Black people. It's actually the opposite way around. Whatever Black people do helps the nation.
Yes.
So I'm the one, no one else might not have said that, but I'm switching her words around on her. It's not
Mm-hmm.
whatever you do for the nation that's going to help Black Americans.
Mm-mm.
Whatever Black Americans do helps the nation. So let's
Is
not
the
get that
nation
point
really
twisted. Yeah, we are the nation, obviously,
right?
but let's not get it twisted that everything we do is driven by our ways and actions.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, how they're putting hip hop in the Olympics, and how they tried to co opt that whole thing to not include us in it. But the good brother Tariq did microphone check to make sure, that the history is recorded. This is the importance of us documenting
Mm-hmm.
our history, discussing it like how we're doing now. So now I'm getting into my blueprint, my 7D path,
Yeah.
our cultural extension practices. You have to document. You know what I'm saying? We want to go from dormant to deployment. And you're going to
Yes.
go through 7D process to get yourself from dormant to deployment.
Exactly.
The first step is delineation. You have to delineate it.
Yeah.
You have to delineate and you have to dedicate yourself to this. That's the first
Mm-hmm.
step. Then you got to have discussions with people like we're doing now,
Mm-hmm.
discussing things, discussing issues and things going on in the community. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And then you move up through the process as you go. Now that you've discussed things, now use your discernment. Now it's time to use your brain, use your critical thinking skills to discern that discussion. What came out of it? What was constructive? What was positive? What can you take moving forward? What can you see from it where you can see that they're detractors from what you're trying to do? You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So once you've done that and you've done your discernment, now you can document it. Now, this
Yes.
is the super important part, the documentation. Because without that, they can co opt and steal from us. Because we're so
Yeah.
loving and giving, we want to give everything we create away anyway. We give it all
We
away anyway.
we
We
used
do.
to be. We used to
We do.
be.
Well, now we're getting better though.
We're getting
I
better.
say we're only getting better now. I would say even since COVID.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it in our heart of hearts, we're humane
We're
people,
the most
right?
humane.
The
No, we're the
most
most humane.
humane. Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, even there's a brother that's on he's on YouTube. His name is The Research Guy. I got much respect for this brother. Like he puts it down, he researches, he really does his thing. He really does it, you know. And he showed a thing where they were interviewing two African women,
Mhm.
and the African women were describing what, you know, Black Americans, you know, when they meet, what they said about us, that we're
Mhm.
loving, we're welcoming, we're nice. And they were like, we're not like that. They said it themselves. They're like, we're not like that. We're not like y'all. Like, we're not nice like y'all. Like, so even they know that. Everyone knows that we're the most welcoming. That's why I don't take this bullshit the way they try to do us in the diaspora. Don't try to play us like we're being
Mhm.
divisive or nothing like that. We're the most welcoming. We're the most accepting of everyone. And
Yeah.
y'all shit on us. And then when we take our shit back and we say no and we delineate, now we're being divisive. Well, fuck that. No, that's not the way it is. We're standing on business, and they get mad when we stand on business because they know that we move shit when we stand on business.
We're the
That's why we
Indian
do this shit.
givers.
That's why we do it. That's why we do it. So let's see what they're saying in the audience. Cool Cola said delineation is an absolute necessary. Kamala Harris fiasco where she shea butter sambas class. Hold on, I gotta read this whole. That's my boy. That's my boy right there. That's the king right there. That's the king of the blurs right there. Let me read it. Let me reread
Shea
his
butter
comment.
samba. I like
Yeah, he
that.
killed her. He said delineation is absolutely necessary. The Kamala Harris fiasco, where the shea butter samba class wants to support her as if she's FBA, is proof, and that's true. This is why we talk about we gotta delineate. We gotta
Mhm.
do it. We gotta do it.
Mhm.
So, you know, I know we kind of got off. We talked about the petition. Let me see where we are, because this is great. I love the conversation.
Thank you.
Guys, make
This
sure
is
y'all go
awesome.
follow the queen. I didn't put the blood pack Twitter in the it's in the comments. Go get on there. I just put the petition in there. Go sign a petition. If you got $2, give it. If you got $1, give it. If you got five, give it. Just give some money towards something good.
Well, hold your dollars for right now. Just sign the petition.
Just sign the
Hold you
petition.
sign the petition, hold your dollars until Thursday, right? So Blood Pack is on
Let me put
Twitter
that up.
and LinkedIn.
Oh, it's on LinkedIn
Uh
too. Okay, I got to get that
yep.
from you.
Okay. So
Okay.
Twitter, we're the Blood Pack, the Blood BLOODPAC. And then save your dollars until Thursday, August the 1st. So 8/1 at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a Zoom link. We're still solidifying the speakers for that. So hopefully Vicky Diller will agree to be our keynote speaker.
Nice.
You're right. We have a meeting with Zoom to see if they'll sponsor the event with an unlimited Zoom link so that we can get as many people there as possible. And then we're going to ask additional partners if they'd be willing to stream it on their platforms as well. And so we're trying to congregate everybody to come to Thursday. We're going to just do we're going to ask for $5 Cash App donations.
Okay.
We're only trying to raise about 55,000. So we're not trying to put the pressure of, all those millions on people. We're trying to raise 55,000 so that we can hire 2 temporary part-time employees while interviews are being conducted, and we can build onto and hire 4 permanent employees and spend the next 11 weeks going up into the election raising money to hire those 4 permanent employees with specific tangibles and reports, fundraising reports, so you can come to bi-weekly sessions and know how the PAC is spending the money, what kind of outcomes are being happening as a result of your donations, and then and writing a political agenda, so that once after you come to the big bang on Thursday, then we're going to spend this time writing agenda that vocalizes our collective political voice and agenda, our demand list. Then we're going to take those demands to both parties, both Republicans, Democrats, and all the in-betweens. And we're going to see who can meet our demands. And if you can't meet our
Right.
demands, write in reparations, and we're exempt.
And peace them out. Peace out.
Please
See
let
you
it
when you meet our
fall.
demands. Look, see you when you meet our demands. How about that? How about that? We'll be back when you meet
Until
those
that.
demands. So what I'm hearing is
Yeah.
family, y'all are in the audience. Okay. Thursday, August 1st. What time does the Zoom call start?
8 p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. Eastern. We're having a Zoom call. If you need the link, you come to Teller B Media. I will give you the link. I'm going to get the link from Brooke. I'm
Yes.
going to be on the call.
Yes.
I'm going to try to live stream it. I don't know if I can.
Okay.
If you want me to, or if I'm allowed, I don't know, or if I can, but if
Yes.
I can,
Definitely.
I'll live stream it on my platform. I'll
Yes.
live
That's
stream
why
it.
I pointed. That's why I was like, yeah, I pointed. Yeah, you. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So I'm in on it. So you guys can, you can catch it on BTV. Um, you can go catch it directly. I want you to go to the Zoom. I don't want you to look at it on BTV. I mean,
Yeah.
if you can't get on the Zoom, then you can look at it on BTV because you can get the information and then
Yeah.
you can make your donation.
Yes.
And then you can sign up to subscribe. So you're subscribed with the super PAC. So you're
Yes.
involved. You're a part of it now. Guys, this is what we've been bitching about. Seriously, this is happening. Like, you guys need to get on board with this. There's
Just
no excuses.
$5.
It's no excuses. There's no excuse. We need to get on board with it. We need to support this and stand as one. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter about nothing else. All that matters is the outcome. That's
No
all that
name
matters.
banging. No name
That's right. No
banging.
name banging. We don't
Be
care.
whatever name. You could be boo 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 foo if you want to. I don't
Listen,
care.
I just had a conversation about that earlier, and I do have those conversations with people because we know our community. We know us. We got there's a lot of us. A lot of us come from a lot of different schools of thought. A
Yep.
lot of us was raised certain ways. A lot of us did certain studies on our journey, and we are have an affinity to certain sciences or religions or whatever. The one thing that I say that we all have in common is we're all foundational Black Americans. So at the end of the day, I don't give a damn if you're a Moor, a Hebrew Israelite, American Indian, Negro, color, Black,
Hmm.
whatever, copper color, Aborigine, Niji, whatever you're calling yourself, we are all the same people. So call yourself that, but come to the table as that, and let's move forward together. We ain't got to argue about that shit. We
No.
don't have to argue about that. That's not important. Stay with who you are. Stay what helps you get through your day every day. That's what
Hmm.
that's about. But the bigger collective, that doesn't matter. I'm
No.
telling you, the shit don't matter. What matters is this super PAC coming together and organizing and putting our money where our mouth is and putting our money and taking our money out of their pockets. That's what's going to get their attention. It ain't going to matter what we call ourselves. They don't give a damn about that. They done already called us 1,000,000,000 different things. They don't care what we
Exactly.
call ourselves.
They don't care
That
about
shit
names at
doesn't
all.
matter. I'm telling y'all, stop being stuck there. You're stuck there and it's not cute.
Hmm.
And stop shaming other people because they might not be on your level or on the knowledge that you've gained to get yourself there. Stop condemning your brother for that. Stop it. Now, now that I said that, because the queen is in the building, damn it. I'm on it today. Brooke, you done got me all fired up. Brooke has
I'm
got all these
sorry.
fires in her name. She got me all fired up. Cool Colas is, I know that brother's gonna support. I know that brother's gonna support. He said he
Thank you.
agrees with us. He's about to follow you on Twitter. This brother's gonna support you.
Okay.
I agree. We are the most welcoming, honorable, and we have the best integrity. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Will said that he
To our
loves our
detriment.
energy. To our detriment. To our detriment.
Thank,
Will said he loves our
thank you.
energy and it's infectious. Thank you, Will. That's my brother right there. I love Will. It's my boy.
Yay.
So this has been very invigorating. We still got more to cover. We got a little bit more to cover. I'm going to get you out of here, but we got a little bit more to cover. Let's talk about the collaboration between the NAACP and the National Urban League. It was crucial.
Mhm.
They were crucial in blocking us from self-identifying on the OMB. So talk about that, because I kind of remember when I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something about the reparations, and I saw the NAACP put out like a statement, like basically saying we don't need it or we don't want it or whatever the fuck they said, something that we don't agree with. But like
Mm-hmm.
historically, they haven't really represented us to the highest level of what we need and really listening to the needs of us. I feel like a lot of them might be compromised. So, talk about that. Talk about them and the other one, the Urban League, and what they've done to kind of block us from self identifying. A, tell me why do you think they're doing that? And B, what do you think is going to happen from all that? Like, are we going to shut them down from that? Like, talk about that a little bit.
So I'll kind of go backwards again. Are we going to
Hmm.
shut them down? Yes, we're working on that. Basically, not only are we going to shut down the NAACP and the Urban League, and it looks like we're going to shut down the OMB. I, without saying too much, right? I don't want to put all of our plans out on the air, but
Absolutely not. We don't do
right?
that. We know they
I
listening.
right?
They gonna thwart our plans. We done learned our lesson from that now.
Right. Right. So I will say
Everything ain't for these internet streets.
mm-mm, mm-mm. We went as a people, we went from zero people advocating for us to now we have two different groups that are specifically filing class action suits against the OMB and the NAACP and the Urban League. So two different groups that are attacking them from two different ends in addition to the grassroots. So that's what's going to happen to them. Now, for as what they did, um, these are some descendants, high yellowish, upper class descendants of chattel slavery who have decided that they want to be a part of the colonizers. They want to be they want to be accepted by the colonizers. And so they've decided that they will turn their backs on their community and join the efforts of erasing our history. So, first, it was Obama and some Jing lady, I forgot her name, Asian lady. They took away Negro out of the OMB lexicon. So the government lexicon no longer had a specific word to categorize us. Then we
Mhm.
found out that we had no separate identity from them. So we went to the OMB and said, hey, we want to be separated so that when we're advocating for us, for specifically for us, we can get tangibles that immigrants are not privy to. One particular tangible is the 14th Amendment. So the 14th Amendment is the one that that says specifically that the descendants of chattel slaves are exempt from all unfriendly legislation. And if you know anything about immigration, you know that the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment are the basis of immigration. So once we understand the foundation of immigration and we own that, then we take away their ability to even be here in this country. So what they're doing is trying to find a way to tether onto us and our lineage, our bloodline, and our privileges, our constitutional privileges and rights. And they're telling the OMB, we don't want to be separated from them because if you separate us from the descendant class, we won't get any more descendant awards.
It shouldn't be getting them in the first place, but okay.
so, so we said, oh, thank you for telling us who you are.
Right. And showing us your hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks. They're usually not that straightforward, but okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. Take all the wins we can get.
and so now we have their letter that specifically tells them, or their letter that they wrote to the OMB, and we can use that in as a precedent, a legal precedent. And so those two groups are attacking that legal precedent and showing the evidence of genocide. Once again, it's all full circle. It's all full circle.
Yes. Wow. So do we have so is that so that was that's a part of our petition. Well, your petition that you have that I shared, right?
Well, it's not my petition, but yes, the
Mm,
petition that you
well,
shared. Yeah,
the
okay. Yeah.
families, the
The
families
one I
petition.
brought. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to take
Yes.
anybody else's work, credit for anybody else's work,
Right.
because
Right. We
we're
never
all
want to
doing
do
it
that.
together.
Yeah. We're doing it together. And that's the way that when I say my or we or your,
Okay.
it's our. When I really, anybody that knows me, watches my show knows, I'm inclusive of people, but to a point, like, to a degree, I'm not gonna let you get over on me or my community. Like I'm not gonna let it happen. You can't do it in front of me. I'm going to say something. So that's what we're here for. Um, so I think what you're doing is great. I think that you know, use the president that they're using in California, and look at some of the ways that they were able to get that to work on that local level, on that state level.
Okay.
That could also be helpful in the evidence
Okay.
on why we should be able to do it. And really, that letter that you're talking about, I mean, if you ask me, like if I was the judge of it, I would say based on that letter, let's let them do it right there based on that letter. Cause that's telling you right there that you're getting something that you don't deserve based on who you're not.
And you want to keep getting it.
And you want to keep getting it and you want to deny us of it. Like what the hell? Like, oh Lord, this is just out of damn control. All right. Well, I'm so glad the work that you're doing is shedding a light on this stuff. And it's
Thank
really, a lot of people in the community don't know that this kind of stuff goes on. So that's why we have this show. That's why we do this platform. So we can make sure that people are informed of the nonsense that's going on around here. Because they are
Yeah.
really trying to play in our face, as they say.
Yeah.
They're trying to
And
play in our face.
that's okay. Just take the clues, put them in the bucket, and bring them on. We're the community is responding. We're out there, and
Yes.
so
And I love
hope.
it.
And if you can come to the event on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, a lot of the resources, a lot of the organizations will be there, so you'll get to know like the legal fund that's been created. That's one of the organizations going after OMB and things of that nature. So you'll be more enlightened, not just to what the Blood Pack is doing, but what other people are doing in the community that you can find your pathway and join.
Right. Right. That you can find passion in if it's not exactly what you're doing. But
Mm-hmm.
again, what you're doing, I think it warrants all of our passion. I mean, if we really want to really and if we want to better our condition, in our stature in this continent, what you're doing is the blueprint for it. So I'm always going to advocate for it. I'm going to be sharing all of your stuff. I need all of those links from you after this call,
Yes.
because I will that's my goal this week is to post that Zoom link and to
Okay.
get as many people to join that Zoom link this week. So I'm going to be working on that this
Thank
week.
you.
I might even do like
Thank
a
you.
small short live and be like, yo, we're having a Zoom call on Thursday. We need all the family there. Like I might do a live later on in the week and say that just to
Okay.
get people's attention to it, because I'm on board. So you like, we had that talk before the show. So like after the show, we're gonna talk a little bit. You send me some stuff, and we'll get some
Yes.
stuff going in the background so we can make sure. I'll do everything in my power to get everything promoted through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and all that kind.
Thank
Because I know
you.
you're not on all those platforms.
I'm not on it.
So somebody asked me, "Were you on Instagram?" And I told them no. I said, "But I'm trying to get her to come to the dark side." But if you're not there, that's fine. I'm there for you. I'll advocate for you there.
Let me
Um,
say that the team that's hired, the real permanent team that's going to be working this full time, they will
mhm.
have the bandwidth to be on Instagram.
Oh, good.
Not me.
Not you. Just like the hell with all that Instagram stuff.
I can't do it.
I get it. It's a lot. It can be a lot.
Yeah.
So Cool Cola said that the NAACP, he said those Sambos got me, Marcel, Black, Alpha, and others kicked out of a speech on Martin Luther King for having signs up about reparations. They have got to go. Yeah. And they've been known to be doing this stuff lately. Like it's terrible with they don't they're very out of touch with what the real people in the community need and want. They're
The
out of
only
touch.
karma is real.
Yeah.
So when it turns around on them. I mean, hey, you reap what you
Good
sow.
luck to them.
Right?
Good luck to them. So Will said, both of you beautiful sisters need to be commended for your actions. Thank you, Will.
Thank you.
You commend us for those actions by joining the Zoom call on Thursday at 8 p.m.,
Yeah.
donating $5 to the Cash App, signing up with the Blood Pack, subscribing with them, staying abreast, sharing stuff on your page, getting the awareness out in your community, host it up at your dojo, all of that kind of stuff. Get the
Yeah.
awareness out, let people know what we're trying to do, because it's time. It's our time, and it's time for us to do better. So, Brooke, tell us what advice that you have for other aspiring advocates and activists who wish to make meaningful impact in their community and on a larger scale.
Honestly, I to those who are confused about finding their passion or their pathway in life, I say get out there and just try. Just start. Even if you start and it turns out to not be the thing, if you started and you failed, you find out that that particular pathway is not your passion, you can all it will usually lead you to finding what you're really meant to be doing. And
Mhm.
we're all family in every shape, form, or fashion, so we can forgive one another. Feel free to admit to us if you failed or if you've made a mistake, because we all make them.
Right.
So just get out there and just start doing it. I would say try to raise awareness of the things that are happening in your community. So in Texas, we're getting ready to establish another Freedmen Bureau in Texas. And then I've come here today to tell people about the Blood Pack and our opportunities for there. And so, even though being on podcasts, some people may say, "Oh, that's not real advocacy or that's not real awareness." Well, I didn't do nothing.
Well, but it is though. So I don't agree with that.
I mean, I don't
Because
either,
I
right?
mean, because there's different ways, right? So we're not being put in a box to just some type of on the ground grassroots advocacy. There's different ways you can advocate and be an activist.
Mm-hmm.
The way we're doing this now, this is a huge way because, even since COVID, virtual reality is the thing.
Yeah.
I said it in one of my rhymes eons ago, virtual reality that's going to be the sensation of the nation. I said that. And that's what's happening now. This is a virtual, we're in Meta right now. There's a lot of people in Meta. So this is a great place to network, advocate, and be activists, getting awareness spreading the word to people, getting those people to come to the ground. This is
Yeah.
how you get the word out to let people know something's going on, because half the people are on social media. So if you don't go on social media and tell people, how will they know? No one really watches the news. We're regular people. We can't just get on the news and TV. So how else would we spread awareness and spread the word? This is absolutely the way to do it. Again, like I said, don't listen to naysayers. When someone's saying stuff like that, that tells me they ain't doing shit. So, no, seriously. No, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. So, if they're saying that, like, okay, well, show me what you've done then. Because don't downplay what I'm doing just because it may not be what you're doing or maybe what you're not strong at doing. We all have different strong suits, and that's what we should all gear ourselves toward, because that's what's going to help us as a nation moving forward. So I absolutely think that doing podcasts and spreading the word that way. Look at all the people right here saying they're going to support you,
See,
that they're about to go do a donation. They're going to come to the Zoom call. They're
I
going to
love
share
that.
it. You
Thank
see?
you.
So of course. So
I'm
yeah, don't
sorry, and
don't
I didn't
listen to
mean
any of that.
to. I didn't mean to like knock being on the podcast. I'm sorry, that might have came out
Oh no,
wrong. I
not
didn't mean.
you. You didn't
Okay.
knock it. I think like the way you answered, it's like people are saying like that's not real. Because people even say that to me. They're like, "Oh, all you're doing is sitting on social media and making a post." Okay, wow, your ass is on here commenting, ain't you? So like, what are you talking about? I'm not doing nothing. You're aware. You're sitting here arguing with me about it. So it is making people aware. Like there's different ways to do things. Not
There
everything
are.
has to be a certain way.
Yeah.
So I just say that to say, I'm very fiery. So, it's all love. But I just gotta sometimes you gotta put people in their place, like when they're saying stuff like that.
I
You
didn't
can't
do
let people,
nothing.
yeah, and you can't let people just tell you what you know ain't right.
Hmm. Hmm.
You're not going to tell me what I know. You're not, like, under no circumstance. So, or with love, because
Right.
I'm fire and I'm water. So I'm gonna come with love, but then I'm gonna come nurture you after that. I'm gonna come with fire, I mean, but then I'm gonna come with love and nurture you after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just the combination of who I am and who we all are. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we carry things out. But
Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Talk
Thank
about looking
you.
ahead. So we talked about everything. Let's kind of summarize everything that you have going on. Summarize some of the big things that are coming up, and then looking ahead. What are you in the super PAC, looking forward to for the rest of the year?
Well, summarize the Blood Pack, Blood PAC on Twitter, and you can find us on LinkedIn. We're having it, save the date. We're having an event on August the 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a political fundraiser to combat the narrative of this whole Kamala's awesome narrative, because screw both of them. And looking forward, I'm very excited to see man, the agenda that comes out of the agenda that we're able to put together with everybody's participation, when we're able to present that full color agenda, political agenda, and demands, right, of constitutional rights that have been historically denied by these de facto members of the United Nations. I'm really excited about what's going to happen for 2025 and what that means for the rest of us. So, thank you.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the community. I'm excited to make my contributions, and really for all of us to come together. Um, like, I think no matter what happens in November, we're going to be okay. I mean, we always are. We're the most resilient. We can get through anything. We've gone through everything and we're still here. So
Yes.
nothing can stop us or hold us down. So, salute to you. And I'm just going to read a couple more of our comments
Okay.
that the people are leaving. Cool Cola said he agrees that our FBA queens are amazing, and shout out to us and shout out to our
Thank you.
FBA kings. We love you and
Yes.
we need you. We value you.
No
And
gender divide here.
no gender divide here. You already
Mm-hmm.
know this is Kings Up. They know who we're at. This is Kings Up and
Mm-hmm.
Queens Up over here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do the baby mama, baby daddy gender divide culture. We do
Mm-mm.
Kings Up and Queens Up. We do royalty rules. We respect, uplift, love, empower, support. That's the royalty rules. You follow
Yes.
those rules every day. You make your own rules and you follow them, and you do that for yourself, your family. You extend that to your community, and that's how we build. That's how we build on things.
Okay.
So that's what it is. Then he said, "Sis, what you described is called solution samboism." So let me tell you about Cool Cola. So Cool Cola he makes up like these great descriptions of
Okay.
people, like, and he categorizes these people.
I
You're
like
gonna
that.
love him. I need you guys to connect, start following him. He has a book out. He does a lot of great things for the
Ooh.
community, does reparation speeches, um
Ooh.
everything. He's a real brother. I love. He's been on the show before. It's my brother. I support everything he does. But he
Okay.
said that it's called what we described is called solution samboism. It's
Okay.
when Negroes say, "Where is your solutions and shit?" They can say, "Where are your solutions and shit?" And then we are black people in the system of white supremacy reporting on the climate. Where are your
Your
solutions?
solutions.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And that's what it's about. I've had just the most amazing time on this podcast, probably one of my
Thank
favorite
you.
shows that I've done all year.
Thank you.
Um, just amazing work, Queen.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
That's a huge
Amazing
sigh
work.
of release.
Yes, amazing. Keep going. I support you 1,000,000%.
Thank you.
I don't play. I think you know that by now.
Yes.
Um, so send me those links.
Okay.
I need to talk with you to see what I need to do to stream that Zoom call on my channel.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to be making my donation. I already signed all the petitions. I want to make sure that this platform is open to you. So when you or the super PAC or your other, if you want your other counterparts on,
We
whoever, whenever you're ready to come back, if you want to come back, you can come back every week. I don't care. It's up to you. No, I'm serious. Like whatever you want to do, if you have things going on, you let me know and we'll do something real quick. It don't
Thank
have to
you.
be no whole thing. We can just do something real quick to get it out there. This
Okay.
is you're the reason why I made this platform. You're one of the reasons why I made it, and along with the work that I'm doing, because we need to get this out there, and that's what it's for. So I appreciate you. I salute you. I salute the work you're doing, and I just want to really thank you. You guys, please go follow her on Twitter, and you can find them also on LinkedIn. I'm also going to be putting links in the YouTube descriptor under here where you guys can go get that petition. You can go sign up with the blood pack. I'm going to get the Zoom link on there. So all that information will be there. Okay.
Yes.
So make sure you guys get tapped in with the family. Make sure, you're doing the right thing. Make sure you're supporting your community and supporting each other and stop
Mhm.
squabbling with each other over moot points that ain't getting us nowhere.
We're
Straight
all
like
boo boo
that.
the foo.
Straight like that. Right. Straight like that. So with that being said, Brooke, do you have any like closing remarks or thoughts that you want to say to the family before we close the show?
I want to say thank you to all of you who have stayed and watched, paid attention, asked questions, feedback. If you shared anything, thank you. And I would just want to say I do this. This is inspired by our family, our community. So I want to thank you again for supporting me and giving me the idea to and the strength to go out there and do this for us. And so I'm really excited about Thursday. Please bring it. If you can't bring $5 on Cash App,
I don't know. Can
bring.
you hear me, Brooke? Because I can't hear you. So I
I
hope
hear
it's
you.
nothing. I hope everyone else can hear you. Can you guys still hear?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. I don't know why. Can you hear
You can
me?
hear me. I hear you.
Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah. I didn't touch anything.
Okay. Okay. So I don't know why we can't hear the good sister Brooke. But I will definitely make sure whatever her closing remarks are, I'll get them out to the family. Oh, wait, they can hear us both. No, Brooke, go
They
ahead.
can
The
hear us.
audience can hear you, so go ahead. If the audience
Okay.
can hear you, then I want you to continue what you were saying to close out. But then let me know when you're done. So, because I can't hear you, I don't know why.
Okay, forgive my headphone hair, everybody. So yes, basically just saying thank you. Our community gave me the strength and the confidence to be able to go out and create the bud plaque for everybody. And so I'm really excited to put it on its feet and to let it go and grow for the community and let it and really kind of unleash it on the world, so to speak. And so I just humbly, I thank you. If you can't bring $5 on Cash App, bring your aunties and uncles and cousins. That's really what's going to make the huge difference. If you don't have $5, hey, life is hard right now. But if you can bring your aunties, your uncles, your cousins to the event on Thursday, then that's going to make a huge difference in our voting block. So thank you. Okay, I'm done.
Great. Thank you so much. I did catch a little bit of that because I went onto the YouTube live to hear it,
Oh,
just so I could
okay.
hear my good sister and get and hear what she was saying. And I just want to thank her so much for the work she's doing. Thank you for coming on the show. My platform is your platform. We're family now. You're a part of the Queens Up and Kings Up family. You know, Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys all in the audience. Make sure you go follow. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. And we are out. Peace, love, and power to the family. Peace.